Hi there, and welcome to this standing balance class, short class where we'll be using a chair to help us explore some more alignment, engagement, and strength building in some balancing poses. My name is Sheila Sullivan. I'm recovering from foot surgery, so I'm demonstrating how we can still practice yoga when we have different things going on with our body. You'll see that I'm modifying here tonight by standing on a short block to raise my right foot to be about at the same height as my left foot is in this walking boot. So in our class tonight, you'll need a chair. I like to use a folding chair for these, but any chair that you have that is about a standard chair height for the seat. We'll be moving the chair around a lot on our mat. This is less of a typical class and more like a workshop on standing postures. So less flow, more working on specific postures, but we will do a little warm up and have a short centering at the end as well. So invite you to find a standing posture where you feel your feet on the floor, maybe about hips width distance apart. Feel your toes nice and wide. Maybe even rock front to back on your feet, finding balance between front and back, and then even rock side to side, finding the balance center point of your foot, both feet. Maybe rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and then letting the shoulders settle back on the back. Core is engaged here, head is over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Gentle bend in the knees so you're not locking out your knees. Just finding this very grounded mountain pose at the start of our practice. And then let's just start by rolling our shoulders up towards our ears and then back down, just finding some ease and movement of the shoulders on the back side of the body, even stretching through the chest here. You might even begin to lift the arms. You could have your fingertips on your shoulders. Elbows are making big circling motions here, and then changing the directions of your circles. And then shaking out the arms, maybe even shaking out the legs here. We'll move into some side bends. I like having the chair nearby, in this position where the back of the chair is at about my height of my hand. It's a nice way if you're working with any balance issues, you can have a chair nearby to provide some steadiness. So we'll start with our left hand on the chair, or if balance isn't an issue for you tonight, both hands by your sides. We'll inhale the right arm overhead. Maybe look up at towards the right hand, and then just come into a very gentle side bend to the left, just a few inches, because we're going to play around here. I'd like you to kind of collapse through your core, let everything go here. And then on your next inhale, strengthen through the core, lifting through the core, feeling that engagement, and then exhale into any more of your side bend that you have to go. And then we'll inhale, left arm lifts. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So right hand releases. You can move your chair around here if you'd like to use that for balance. Inhale through the left arm, exhale just a few inches to the right, and then soft, kind of let everything go. Let the core release here, let everything hang out, and then build the pose back up. Core engages, shoulder blade engages here. Feel that work that the core is doing here, and then exhale into your side bend. Inhale, right arm lifts. We'll just move through a few more side bends here. So exhale, left hand releases as we move into our side bend to the left. Feel that core engagement right away. It's that lifting through the core here that we need in triangle pose and half moon pose, which are two poses we're going to be playing with tonight. Inhale, left arm lifts, exhale, release the right arm side, bend to the right. Core engagement, you can play with that. Engaging the core, staying nice and strong here. Inhale, right arm lifts, exhale, we'll bring the hands through heart center, pausing, hands at heart center. Just noticing if you have any intention for this practice this evening. And then shaking out the hands here. Let's move into some hip circling. So feet will step a little bit wider than hip width apart here. You can also hold the hand on the chair, one hand on the hip, or both hands on your hips. Let's rotate the hips forward to the side, back to the other side. Just working out any tension in the hips. Let's change the direction of the circles. Just feeling some release maybe in the low back. Great. And then we'll move right into a version of sun salutation A, or half sun salutation. Actually half sun salutations, where we're going to spin the chair around so that the seat of the chair is at one end of the mat. It's good to have all four legs of the chair on the mat if possible. And then we're going to stand. You might have to play around with the distance that you stand from the chair. We want to measure our distance from the chair where we can comfortably hold on, have our hands on the seat of the chair. So that might mean that you have to step back a little bit farther. Just find that place, and then we're going to come back to stand, finding our mountain pose here. The muscles of the quads engage. Feet are planted on the floor. Feeling, I'm just changing my angle so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing here. Legs are engaged, core is engaged here. Let's inhale, arms lift, gaze lifts. Exhale, slight bend in the knees as the hands come to the chair. Forward fold, let your head release here. Inhale to halfway lift, straight back. Nice straight back. Neck is in alignment. And then exhale, folding forward once again here. Really let there be a bend in the knees. Feel this release in the low back. Depending upon where you are here, just feel the support of the chair under your hands. If you have the ability to reach the floor here, you might do that and just let the head release wherever you are. Let the head release, shake the head. No, nod the head, yes. And then bringing your weight back into your feet. Core engages here. Let's inhale, arms out to the side. Gaze lifts, arms lift. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms out to the side, gaze lifts, heart lifts. Exhale, we'll lower hands towards the chair. Let the head release between the arms. Inhale, halfway lift. Core is engaged here, nice straight back. Exhale, forward fold. Take a full round of breath here in this fold. Feel the release maybe between the shoulder blades. Feel the release in the low back. And then bringing the weight back into the feet. Still a little bend in the knees here as we inhale, arms lift overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last time, inhale, arms lift, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Full round of breath. Release it with a sigh. Weight comes back into the feet. Inhale. Arms lift. Exhale. Hands to heart. Pausing here. Feeling your heartbeat. Feeling your breath in, breath out. Releasing the hands. We're going to slide the chair back now so that the chair will be on the left side of your mat towards towards the front of the mat, maybe about a foot from the front of your mat. We're going to set up right away for warrior two pose. So might take a little adjusting with the chair here to find the right positioning. So we'll step the left foot forward for warrior two and the right foot will step back. You want your chair to be just behind the left knee so that you can hopefully easily reach the seat of the chair with your hand. You might need a block on the seat of the chair when we get there. Right foot is stepped back behind you with the toes at a 45-degree angle. Setting up for your warrior two pose. Doesn't have to be a very dramatic for warrior two. Arms extend here, finding your warrior two pose. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, we're going to come back into warrior two, straighten that left leg, finding our triangle pose. My left toes lift off the floor here just because of my way my boot is designed, but your left toes will stay on the floor here. Core is engaged, feeling that lift like we did when we were doing side bends and lifting in the core. Exhale, leaning out through that left arm, and then just the arms change position. Maybe your left fingertips find the chair. Right arm reaches for the sky. Feeling that whole right shoulder blade, right arm come back, settling into the back side of the body like your torso was between two panes of glass. This is a lot of work in the core here. Pushing into those left fingertips helps support this big core work. And then we'll bend the left leg, lower the arms back into warrior two, taking a break here before we spin. We're going to bring hands to hips, spinning the feet around. We'll just take a quick pause in a shoulder stretch here between sides. So arms coming out in front and then finding arms find each other, back of the body. Let's inhale, lift, gaze lifts, feeling the stretch across the chest and sternum. We can exhale, forward fold here. Let the hands release over the head. And then inhale, coming back to stand, release the arms. Shake out the shoulders, shake out the arms. We'll slide the chair now to the opposite side of the mat. So the chair slides towards the opposite side of the mat, setting up for warrior two on this side. Right foot steps out in front, left foot steps back. Lowering into your warrior two pose, making sure your right knee is over your right ankle. Left toes are at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, warrior two. Gaze is over those right fingertips. Right away, core is engaged here. Inhale for reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Straighten that right leg. Core is engaged, belly button towards spine as the right arm reaches out in front and just the arms drop. Left arm lifts. Core working here to hold you upright. Remember that slump in the side bend. Can you call in all of the core muscles here to help you stay aligned? Left shoulder blade is back on the body. This is a heart opening stretch. Left side. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, hands to hips. Let's just step the feet back together. We're going to move into half moon here. We're going to keep the chair on this side. I can only demonstrate half moon on this side, but I'll walk you through it on the other side as well. So let's just roll the shoulders out here, shake out the arms and legs, getting ready for the second side, or getting ready for half moon on the right side. So for half moon posture, we're going to slide the chair towards the this end of the mat so that when we're half moon posture is going to look, when we get into it, it looks like this. So we want our right foot about a foot from this left side of the chair, left chair leg. Right foot is about a foot beyond that. So we're going to start in our warrior two pose, finding warrior two, feeling our core strength here, feeling our feet really grounded into the floor, especially that right foot, feeling that right foot making nice, strong engagement. We're going to straighten the right leg, hands come to hips here. We'll step the left foot in a few inches, and right leg becomes standing leg, nice and strong in the right leg. As we lower the right hand to the chair, eventually those left toes might find their way off the floor. But right away, we're still looking at right leg is strong like a tree trunk. Maybe your left leg lifts off the floor a few inches. Perhaps you can invite that left hip to open towards the wall in front of you. Maybe you even invite the left arm, left fingertips towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, micro bend in that right knee. Left leg is strong, left hip is open here. That right arm is giving you balance on the chair. And then hand comes to hip, slowly releasing the left foot to the floor, coming back into your warrior two, straightening the legs, taking a pause between sides, letting the arms shake out, letting the legs shake out. You can spin the chair now back to the other side of your mat. Setting up for warrior two on this side. Now left foot is going to be about a foot from the right side of your chair. Right side is if you were sitting in the chair. Left foot is about a foot away. Finding your warrior two stance. It can be a short stance here. We're not going to be here for very long. Finding your warrior two, core is engaged and feet are engaged, especially the left foot is engaged here. Hands are going to come to your hips. Step the right foot in a few inches. Left foot becomes your standing leg here as you begin to reach for the chair with your left hand. I can't demonstrate on this side because I can't put my weight. Left hand finds the chair. Right foot begins to come off of the floor. As your right foot comes off the floor, you might begin to feel that right hip peel back. Maybe the right arm lifts. Feeling the strength in your core here. Micro bend in that left knee. Strong left leg. left hand touching the seat of the chair, right arm lifting towards the sky. And then right hand comes back to the hip, right foot back to the floor, finding your warrior two. And then hands come to hips, letting the toes turn out towards center, maybe stepping the feet towards each other. We're going to set up for a wide leg forward fold here. So bringing your chair out in front so that when you stand sideways on your mat, your chair is in front of you. I'm going to stand at an angle here so that you can see what I'm doing. Feet step apart. Let's step our feet wider than hips width distance apart here. Inhale, arms lift overhead, gaze lifts. Exhale, slight bend in the knees as your hands find the seat of the chair. You might walk your feet back if you need a little more room. And we're just going to settle into this posture. It might feel nice to bring your elbows towards the chair and let your head release here. If this is a pose that you're used to doing with a block in front, you're welcome to do that. Wherever you are, you might sway from side to side, bringing a little movement into your hips. You might imagine you can pull your shoulder blades away from each other, working into the shoulders slightly here. And then bringing your left hand to the chair. Let's inhale, lift the right arm towards the sky, twisting to the right. Exhale, right hand comes to the chair. Inhale, left arm lifts towards the sky, twisting towards the left. Exhale, left hand to the chair. Let's do that one more time on each side. Inhale, twisting to the right. Exhale, right hand to the chair. Inhale, twisting to the left. Exhale, right hand to the chair. This is a great spot to explore downward dog and plank pose with the chair. So to do that, you would walk your feet back at an angle. I think I'll do that at this position here. This is very important to have all four legs of the chair on your mat here. So whereas our feet are closer to the chair for a forward fold, for downward dog, our feet are going to be farther away. It's probably even safest to do this with the back legs nestled right up against the wall so that your chair doesn't slip off the mat. But feet are wider than hips width distance. Hands can be on the seat of the chair. Inhale, exhale, let the head release between the arms. And you might feel this similar position to being in downward dog. You might feel that it's more of a shoulder opener here. Take another full round of breath. Inhale and exhale. Then if you wanted to play with plank pose, feet stay in the same position. Your hips move towards the chair. Maybe your hands come to hold on the outside of the chair until you can roll onto your toes and hips drop towards the chair. What we want to avoid is dropping the hips so much that there's a sway in the back. We want this long straight line from the crown of your head down to your heels. And then we can inhale, hands pivot on the chair back into downward dog. Exhale here. Inhale, hands pivot to the sides of the chairs, hips drop, plank pose. Core is engaged here. And then let's inhale back, walking feet towards the chair. Spin the chair around for one last balance pose. We'll do a tree pose here. I'm going to move the chair over to my right side so that my right leg will be my standing leg for side of tree pose. Hand can be on the chair or hands at your sides. Right foot gets nice and grounded here, making contact with the floor. Feel the shoulder blades roll down the back, head is over the shoulders. Maybe the left toes come to the floor. Core is engaged here. Perhaps the left foot comes up to the calf. Maybe your left arm lifts. Micro bend in that right knee, strong leg. You want to make sure that your chair isn't too close to you here. This is giving you a little room as you come into your tree pose. You could play with releasing that right hand. Do your tree branches want to be wide or tall, or maybe a mixture? And then when you're ready, releasing that left foot to the floor, pausing here, feeling this integration, balancing tree pose, strong and steady. Shift your chair over to being on the outside of your left leg. Step a few inches away from the chair. Let your left leg become your standing leg here. Left foot is making contact, left toes are finding their contact with the floor. Core is engaged here. Shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. Maybe the right toes come to the floor. Maybe the right foot balances near the left calf or higher above the knee. Core is engaged, micro bend in the left knee. Perhaps your right arm wants to find its tree pose, its branch positioning. You could even play with extending that left hand a little bit off of the chair. Feeling your tree pose here, strong and steady in the left leg. If you fall out, that's okay. Take your time coming back in. And then arms lower, right leg lowers, pausing here to feel, maybe hand on your heart, letting this balance pose integrate. And then returning to your mountain pose, both feet firmly planted on the floor. You could have a hand on the chair or perhaps hands at heart center. Taking a moment to acknowledge that you showed up for class this evening. You challenged yourself with some standing postures, knowing that we're always learning and our balance and circumstances in life are always shifting and changing. So taking note of how it is just to show up without judgment, or noticing when we tend towards judgment. Taking a moment to feel the beating of your heart, your strong heart. Taking a moment to imagine the bright light deep within your heart, your own inner wisdom. Letting your head bow towards that light, your own true nature. The bright light within me bows to the bright light within each of you. Namaste, friends. And thank you so much for practicing. Take care.